You can't fail if you do not quit. These words hold a profound truth, a beacon of hope in the darkest times. They remind us that as long as we keep moving forward, no matter how slowly we are still in the game, we still have a chance to achieve our dreams, to reach our goals, to become the person we aspire to be. Persistence is not easy. It's not about grand gestures or heroic acts. More often than not, it's about showing up day after day, putting in the work even when we do not feel like it, especially when we do not feel like it. It's about pushing through the mundane, the frustrating, the seemingly insurmountable challenges that stand between us and our goals. Maybe it was in your career, your relationships, your personal growth. Remember that moment when giving up seemed like the easiest option, perhaps even the most logical one. What made you push through? What kept you going when everything seemed to be working against you? For many of us, it's the vision of what could be. It's the dream that burns bright within us, refusing to be extinguished by temporary setbacks or fleeting doubts. It's the knowledge that on the other side of persistence lies everything we have ever wanted. But vision alone is not enough. To truly persist, to keep going when the going gets tough, we need to cultivate certain qualities, certain mindsets that will sustain us through the long haul. First and foremost, we need resilience. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, because failure is inevitable on any worthwhile journey. It's about how we respond to failure. It's about our ability to bounce back, to learn from our setbacks, to adapt our approach, and keep moving forward. Resilience is like a muscle. The more we use it, the stronger it becomes. Every time we face a challenge and push through, we are building our resilience. Every time we refuse to give up in the face of adversity, we are becoming stronger, more capable, more resilient. But how do we build this resilience? It starts with our mindset. We need to reframe how we view challenges and setbacks. Instead of seeing them as roadblocks, we need to view them as opportunities for growth and learning. So when we encounter a difficulty, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? We should ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? This shift in perspective can transform our entire approach to challenges. When working on inventing the light bulb, Thomas Edison famously said, "I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine if he had given up after the 9,999th attempt. The world may have to wait longer for the invention that will revolutionize modern life. Edison's persistence wasn't just about stubbornness or blind determination. It was about maintaining a growth mindset, about seeing each failure as a step closer to success, as valuable feedback that informed his next attempt. This brings us to another crucial aspect of persistence: the importance of learning and adaptation. Persistence does not mean doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's the definition of insanity, not persistence. True persistence involves continual learning, constant adaptation, and a willingness to change our approach based on the feedback we receive. If you are trying to climb a mountain and you encounter a sheer cliff face that you can't scale, persistence does not mean repeatedly throwing yourself at that cliff until you're bruised and battered. It means looking for another path up the mountain. Maybe you need to circle around. Maybe you need to find some climbing gear. Maybe you need to train more before attempting that particular route. The goal, reaching the summit, remains the same, but the path to get there might need to change. This flexibility, this willingness to adapt, is crucial for long-term success. It's what separates true persistence from mere stubbornness. It's what allows us to keep moving forward even when our initial plans do not work out. But adaptation requires humility. It requires us to admit that our first approach might not have been the best one. It requires us to be open to new ideas, new strategies, new ways of thinking. So this can be challenging, especially if we have invested a lot of time and energy into our initial approach. But remember, it's not about being right, it's about getting it right. Along with resilience and adaptability, another key component of persistence is patience. In our fast-paced, instant gratification world, patience can seem like an outdated virtue. We want results, and we want them now. But real lasting success rarely happens overnight. The moon landing, the creation of the internet, the civil rights movement, none of these happened in a day, a week, or even a year. They were the result of sustained effort over time of people who were willing to keep pushing forward even when progress seemed slow or non-existent. Patience does not mean passive waiting. It means active persistence. It means continuing to work towards your goals day in and day out, even when you are not seeing immediate results. It means trusting in the process, believing that your efforts will bear fruit, even if that fruit is not visible yet. This patience, this trust in the process is beautifully illustrated in the story of the Chinese bamboo tree. When you plant a Chinese bamboo tree, you water and fertilize it, but nothing happens for the first year. You see no visible signs of growth. The second year, you water and fertilize it, and still nothing happens. The third and fourth years, you continue to water and fertilize, and still no sign of growth. You might begin to wonder if all your efforts are futile. But then in the fifth year, something amazing happens. The Chinese bamboo tree suddenly shoots up, growing up to 80 feet in just 6 weeks. The question is, did the tree grow 80 feet in 6 weeks, or did it grow 80 feet in 5 years? The answer, of course, is that it grew 80 feet in 5 years. For those first 4 years, the tree was developing its root system, creating a foundation strong enough to support its rapid growth. This story holds a powerful lesson for us. Often when we are working towards our goals, it can feel like we are not making progress. We are putting in the effort, but we are not seeing results. It's in these moments that many people give up, not realizing that they might be on the verge of a break. But if we can cultivate patience, if we can trust in the process and keep putting in the work, we set ourselves up for explosive growth. We build a foundation that can support our dreams, no matter how big they might be. Of course, patience does not mean complacency. While we are patiently persisting, we should always be looking for ways to improve, to learn, to grow. We should be asking ourselves, am I doing everything I can to move towards my goals? Are there skills I need to develop? Are there habits I need to change? Are there new strategies I should try? Brings us to another crucial aspect of persistence. The power of habit. Our lives are shaped not by the big dramatic decisions we make, but by the small choices we make every single day. It's the habits we cultivate, the routines we establish that ultimately determine our success or failure. Whether it's building a business, getting in shape, learning a new skill, or anything else, your success will largely depend on your daily habits. Are you consistently taking actions that move you towards your goal, or are you falling into patterns that hold you back? Creating positive habits is not always easy, but it's one of the most powerful tools we have for achieving long-term success. Start small. Focus on one habit at a time. Maybe it's waking up 30 minutes earlier to work on your side project. Maybe it's reading for an hour each day to expand your knowledge in your field. Maybe it's setting aside time each week to review your progress and plan your next steps. Whatever it is, make it specific, make it achievable, and most importantly, make it consistent. Remember, it's not about perfection. It's about progress. It's about showing up day after day and putting in the work. As you persist in the face of challenges, it's important to celebrate your small victories along the way. Too often we focus solely on the end goal, overlooking the progress we are making each day, but acknowledging these small wins can provide the motivation we need to keep going. So, did you stick to your new morning routine for a full week? Celebrate that. Did you finally figure out a problem that's been stumping you? Celebrate that. Did you push through on a day when you really wanted to give up? Absolutely celebrate that. These celebrations do not have to be grand. Maybe it's treating yourself to your favorite coffee or taking a moment to reflect on how far you have come. The important thing is to acknowledge your progress, to remind yourself that you are moving forward, even if the ultimate goal still seems far away. So we talk about persistence, about pushing through challenges and never giving up. It's important to address a common misconception. Persistence does not mean blindly pushing forward no matter what. It does not mean ignoring red flags or refusing to change course when necessary. True persistence involves wisdom. It involves being able to distinguish between obstacles that we need to overcome and signs that we might need to adjust our approach. It involves being honest with ourselves about our progress, our methods, and our goals. Sometimes persistence might mean pivoting. It might mean recognizing that our initial strategy is not working and being willing to try a new approach. It might mean realizing that our original goal needs to be adjusted based on new information or changing circumstances. This kind of strategic persistence requires self-awareness and courage. It requires us to continually assess our progress, to be willing to admit when something is not working, and to be brave enough to make changes when necessary. It's like sailing a ship. Your destination, your ultimate goal might remain the same, but you may need to adjust your course based on the winds and currents you encounter. This does not mean you are giving up. It means you are being smart, adaptable, and committed to reaching your destination, even if the path to get there looks different than you initially imagined. As we push through challenges and adapt to changing circumstances, it's crucial to maintain a growth mindset. This concept, popularized by psychologist Carol Dweck, is about believing that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. Growth mindset is the antidote to the fixed mindset, which believes that our qualities are carved in stone, that we have a certain amount of intelligence, a certain personality, and a certain moral character, and that these qualities can't be changed in any meaningful way. When we have a growth mindset, we see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. We view effort as the path to mastery. We learn from criticism instead of ignoring it. We find lessons and inspiration in the success of others rather than feeling threatened. This mindset is crucial for persistence because it allows us to see setbacks and failures not as indictments of our abilities, but as necessary steps on the path to success. It enables us to bounce back from disappointments, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep pushing forward even when things get tough. Cultivating a growth mindset involves consciously changing the way we think and talk about our abilities and challenges. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," we can say, "I'm not good at this yet." Instead of avoiding challenges for fear of failure, we can embrace them as opportunities to improve. It also involves reframing our view of effort. In a fixed mindset, effort is seen as a bad thing, something that people with true talent shouldn't need. But in a growth mindset, effort is seen as the path to mastery, as the very thing that makes us smart and talented. As we cultivate this growth mindset, it's important to remember why we are doing all this in the first place. What's driving us? What's the purpose behind our persistence? Having a clear sense of purpose can provide the motivation we need to keep going when things get tough. It's the fuel for our persistence, the reason we get up each morning ready to face whatever challenges come our way. Your purpose does not have to be grand or world-changing. It just needs to be meaningful to you. Maybe you want to provide a better life for your family. Maybe you want to make a difference in your community. Maybe you want to push the boundaries of what's possible in your field. Whatever it is, connect with that purpose. Let it guide you, motivate you, and remind you why your persistence matters. This sense of purpose is beautifully illustrated in the story of a young woman I once had the privilege of mentoring. Call her Millie. Millie grew up in a low-income neighborhood where fresh, healthy food was hard to come by. She saw firsthand the impact of poor nutrition on her community, the high rates of obesity, diabetes, and other health problems. Driven by desire to make a difference, Millie dreamed of creating a network of urban gardens that would provide fresh, healthy produce to underserved areas. But the challenges she faced were enormous. She had no experience in agriculture or business. She faced skepticism from potential donors and resistance from local authorities. There were times when the obstacles seemed insurmountable. But Millie had something powerful driving, a clear sense of purpose every time she felt like giving up. She reminded herself of the children in her community who would have access to fresh vegetables. She thought about the elderly neighbors who would have a chance to garden and connect with their community. She envisioned the transformation that could happen when people had the tools and knowledge to grow their own food. This sense of purpose gave Millie the strength to persist through countless setbacks and challenges. She learned about urban farming techniques, studied business management, and tirelessly pitched her idea to anyone who would listen. There were many moments of doubt and disappointment. Grants fell through. Potential sites for gardens were lost to developers. Some community members were skeptical of her plans. But Millie refused to give up. She adapted her approach, sought out mentors, built partnerships with local organizations, and kept pushing forward. Slowly but surely, her persistence began to pay off. She secured a small plot of land for her first garden. Volunteers from the community came together to help plant and maintain it. As the first crops began to grow, Millie saw the impact she had dreamed of. Children were excited to try vegetables they had helped grow. Elderly residents found a renewed sense of purpose in tending the garden. The community began to come together in a way it never had before. Today, years after she first began her journey, Millie's organization operates dozens of urban gardens, providing fresh produce and education to thousands of people. Her persistence has literally changed lives. Millie's story is a powerful reminder of the impact our persistence can have, not just on our own lives, but on the lives of others. It shows us that when we connect our persistence to a greater purpose, we can find strength we never knew we had. But it's also a reminder that persistence is not about instant success. It's about showing up day after day, putting in the work, and refusing to give up even when things get tough. It's about learning from our setbacks, adapting our approach, and keeping our eyes on the goal. Remember that persistence is a skill, not a trait. It's something we can develop and strengthen over time. Every time we choose to keep going in the face of challenges, we are building our persistence muscle. Persistence does not mean going it alone. Surround yourself with people who support your goals, who believe in you even when you doubt yourself. Seek out mentors who can guide you, peers who can encourage you, and supporters who can cheer you on. Take care of yourself along the way. Persistence requires energy, both mental and physical. Make sure you are getting enough rest, eating well, exercising, and taking time to recharge. You can't pour from an empty cup. Learn to enjoy the journey. Yes, reaching your goals is important, but do not forget to find joy in the process of getting there. Celebrate your small wins, learn from your setbacks, and appreciate the growth you are experiencing along the way. Stay curious. Always be open to learning, to trying new approaches, to seeing things from different perspectives. Your willingness to learn and adapt can often be the key to overcoming seemingly insurmountable obstacles. Practice self-compassion. You will face setbacks. You will make mistakes. You will have days when you feel like you are not making progress. Be kind to yourself in these moments. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a good friend. Keep your vision alive. Regularly reconnect with your goals and your purpose. Visualize what success looks like for you. Let this vision pull you forward, especially on the days when moving forward feels hardest. Embrace discomfort. Growth and comfort rarely coexist. Be willing to step outside your comfort zone, to do things that scare you, to face your fears head on. It's in these moments of discomfort that we often experience our greatest growth. Focus on what you can control. There will always be factors outside of your influence. Instead of wasting energy worrying about these, channel your efforts into the things you can impact, your attitude, your effort, your responses to challenges. Remember that persistence is not about never falling down. It's about getting up every single time life knocks you down. It's about dusting yourself off, learning from the fall, and taking that next step forward, no matter how difficult it may seem. Persistence is the unwavering determination that keeps you moving, even when the path ahead is unclear or riddled with obstacles. The water does not possess immense strength at any given moment, but its constant flow, over time, shapes even the hardest stone. Your persistence is like that river. Each effort you make, no matter how small it might seem, contributes to the eventual realization of dreams. We must also learn to embrace failure as a teacher, not an enemy. Every setback carries within it the seeds of future success. So when we fail, we gain invaluable insights into what does not work, bringing us one step closer to discovering what does. Thomas Edison's journey to inventing the light bulb is a testament to this truth. Each unsuccessful attempt illuminated the path to eventual success. Persistence also requires us to cultivate patience in an increasingly impatient world. In an age of instant gratification, where success stories often highlight overnight triumphs, it's easy to become discouraged when our own progress seems slow. But true lasting success is rarely achieved overnight. It's built day by day, effort by effort, choice by choice. Just as small regular investments can grow into substantial wealth over time, your consistent efforts, no matter how modest they might seem in the moment, accumulate to create remarkable results. In our hyper-connected world, it's easy to lose sight of our goals, to be pulled in multiple directions by the constant noise of information and demands on our attention. Persistence requires us to cultivate the ability to tune out the noise and stay true to our path. So this does not mean ignoring everything around us. Rather, it means developing the discernment to recognize what truly matters in the pursuit of our goals. It means learning to say no to things that do not align with our objectives, even when they seem appealing in the short term. Persistence also calls for us to develop emotional resilience. The path to any worthwhile goal is often fraught with emotional highs and lows. There will be moments of exhilaration when everything seems to be falling into place, and moments of despair when our efforts seem futile. The key is to avoid becoming too attached to either extreme. Learn to ride these emotional waves without losing your balance. Celebrate your successes, but do not let them make you complacent. Acknowledge your disappointments, but do not let them defeat you. Your emotional steadiness in the face of both triumphs and setbacks is a powerful form of persistence. Just persist on your journey. Remember that progress is not always linear. There will be times when you feel like you are taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. This is normal and often necessary. These apparent setbacks are often where the most valuable lessons lie. They force us to reassess our methods, challenge our assumptions, and come back stronger. Persistence also involves learning to silence your inner critic. We all have that voice inside our heads that sows seeds of doubt, that questions our abilities, that suggests giving up might be easier. Acknowledge this voice, but do not let it control you. Instead, cultivate a stronger, more supportive inner dialogue. Be your own biggest cheerleader, your own most stalwart supporter. Persistence does not mean doing everything alone. Seeking help when you need it is a form of persistence. It shows that you are committed enough to your goals to swallow your pride and ask for assistance when necessary. Build a network of support around you, mentors, peers, friends, family. Let their belief in you bolster your own when times get tough. Be prepared for the landscape to change. The goal you're working towards might evolve as you gain new insights and experiences. Be open to this evolution. Persistence is not about rigidly sticking to a predetermined path. It's about maintaining your forward momentum, even if the destination shifts. Do not forget to pause occasionally and look back at how far you've come. It's easy to become so focused on the road ahead that we forget to acknowledge the distance we have already traveled. These moments of reflection can provide powerful motivation to keep going. Persistence also requires us to develop a healthy relationship with time. In our rush to achieve our goals, we often become impatient, wanting everything to happen now. But true persistence understands that meaningful change and significant achievements often require time. Learn to work with time, not against it. Trust in the power of consistent effort over time to bring about the results you seek. As you persist, you will likely find that your capacity for handling challenges grows. What once seemed insurmountable becomes manageable. This is the beautiful alchemy of persistence. It not only moves you closer to your goals, but also transforms you in the process. You become more resilient, more adaptable, more capable. In the grand tapestry of life, persistence is the thread that ties everything together. It's what turns dreams into plans and plans into reality. It's the force that has driven every great achievement in human history, from scientific breakthroughs to artistic masterpieces, from social reforms to personal triumphs. Your persistence matters, not just for the goals you are working towards, but for the example you set for others. Every time you choose to keep going, you inspire those around you to do the same. Your persistence creates ripples that extend far beyond your own life, touching others in ways you might never fully realize. Persistence is more than just a strategy for achieving goals. It's a way of engaging with life itself. It's about showing up fully day after day, regardless of the circumstances. It's about maintaining hope in the face of adversity. and continuing to strive for better even when the odds seem stacked against you. Persistence is the quiet hero of every success story, the unsung melody behind every achievement. It's the force that turns adversity into advantage, obstacles into opportunities, and dreams into reality. It's the quality that allows ordinary individuals to achieve extraordinary things. I challenge you to embrace persistence in every aspect of your life. Let it guide your actions, inform your decisions, and shape your character. Remember that as long as you do not quit, as long as you keep moving forward, success is not a matter of if, but when. You have within you everything you need to persist through any challenge, to overcome any obstacle, to achieve any goal. You have the strength, the resilience, the capacity for growth and adaptation. All you need to do is tap into it day after day, step after step. Persistence is about more than just achieving goals. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. It's about living a life of purpose, of continuous growth and learning. It's about leaving a legacy of determination and resilience that will inspire others long after you're gone. So go forth with renewed determination. Embrace the challenges that lie ahead, knowing that each one is an opportunity for growth. Celebrate your progress, learn from your setbacks, and above all, keep moving forward. For in your persistence lies not just the key to achieving your goals, but to unlocking your full potential and living a life of true fulfillment and impact. You can't fail if you do not quit. So do not quit. Persist, persevere, push forward. Your future self will thank you for the persistence you practiced today.